You have a great visual where you say if you're holding too tightly to what you have, how can you receive? On the other hand, you can't always be giving, giving, giving. And I don't know if you're familiar with Adam Grant, but he has a book called Give and Take, and he
Great
talks
book.
about this. Yeah, it's a great book. And so there's research behind this, right? So for example, there appears to be a range where giving is like maximally energizing and minimally draining to the person to people. Research shows that if people start volunteering two hours a week, their happiness, satisfaction, self-esteem go up a year later. And actually, if they volunteer too much, that too much giving, it can actually have a negative effect, which is kind of an interesting finding. So you introduced this to your kids from an early age, made it a big part of your values through the money you're giving, through the vacations that you're taking. So how can we help our kids find a sweet spot in this giving area? Like any kind of practical tips that you can give to me and to other parents.
Yeah, I think that, the fact that you have a sharing portion of your allowance is good. You're saying this is a value, this is something that we do. The cool thing about the volunteering, studies have also shown that kids that have generative behaviors, they want to help other people, end up being more successful as adults with less depression. And so there's real lifelong benefits for them. But the cool thing about these volunteer vacations were that our kids, it wasn't like, oh, those poor kids in Africa or Costa Rica or Peru or wherever we've been. It was that they became friends with those kids there and realized it wasn't their stuff that made them happy. They could play soccer and these kids would blow our kids away who are decent athletes on a dirt patch with barely a ball. And these kids were phenomenal and they all had fun. And it wasn't about the electronics and, fancy houses or cars or any of the things that's easy to get sucked up in here. And so I think they realized how good it feels to make connections with other people. And that was really helpful so that now they're just socially aware and want to contribute to causes that they really believe in. Yeah, so that's one thing that we did. And I think that's one of the best things for money. And also this idea of generosity was that we were able to take them on these trips. And part of the reason, the way that we were able to do that is because our giving account, for many years since I wrote my first book, have been taking 10% of my income and putting it away and not automatically giving it. We just accumulated. It was in I call it a systematic giving account, like you save on an automatic basis. And it was just for many years, just in a savings account or a money market account. And it accumulated enough that our volunteer trips were paid for out of that fund. It was tax deductible, so I was doing it in a smart way. But it allowed us to be together as a family, experience a new culture, and feel like we were helping in whatever way we could.